So it's a cold month of December.
It is, yeah.
We're here in your lovely warm shop.
Warmish.
With you made me my favourite drink, which is Tony's famous milky sugary coffee. So it's good.
Yeah, hint of coffee.
Yeah, and then welcome back for episode 3 now.
We're back again.
Yeah,
we're back again.
Yeah, so we're thought why not?
Why
it's the end
not,
of the year, isn't it?
Indeed.
So we've got a few things to talk about.
Yeah.
And I know you've got a few things that you'd like to mention as well.
Some big news, in fact. Yeah, yeah.
So
all good.
A lot's happened since our last episode. Yeah. How many shows have you been to, do you think?
When did we last? Just before Getz, wasn't it? We did the last one.
I think it was.
So we did Getz, Gaydon, and Worley, of course.
That's busy. I saw you at Gaydon, didn't I?
That's right. Yeah, you bought me donuts and.
I did.
And so there was two things: donuts and something else.
I think because I didn't have any, I don't remember. Because you had some help.
You disappeared before I got a chance to offer you one. You were a very busy little bee.
I had to film it. That was a good video.
It did well, didn't it? It did well. Yeah.
I was like, why didn't people watch all my videos like that?
Who knows?
You just go to Gaydon all the time.
Blame the algorithm.
Yeah, blame the algorithm. YouTube.
Mind you, your new series is doing well, isn't it? The shunting layout.
Yeah, shunting layout. I thought I'd just have some fun and just because
you
know, like when I got my 15XX before, I don't have a layout on the loft working, and it'd be nice to do some running shots and things.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be cool to have that, so I can have whatever I like on it. It's my thoughts. And a bit of playtime. So
and you picked up an ideal engine for that today.
I did. I actually put it in my car, but I got an 88 DS.
The new 88 DS.
Well, you should know.
Sure, we can flash up a quick image of
that's
it.
Right.
On this, can't we?
Yeah. So I wanted that because I got the 48.
Yes.
And then there's the 88, and so the 48 was very popular. I'm assuming as a product originally.
It's had mixed results. The 48, I'd say. Sometimes some of them were sold really well. Some of them were a bit slow burny. Some of them ended up on Hornby clearance lists. So it's been an interesting one. I think if they did the works liveried one again, the sort of lime green with the nice white lining again, that was super popular. That was so, and they did one that's a brewery livery, which I think they're doing the 88 in the brewery livery as well. I think that would be popular, but the one or two of them were a bit slow burners, shall we say. The Express Dairy is always popular.
That's what I've got, the little blue one.
That's it.
I liked it because it was similar to the BR blue and yellow. So that's obviously what I've got for the 88.
That was popular.
Yeah, I take it the Rustons, obviously we learn a lot about what was out there. So I'm not versed in the world of real railways.
No.
So when you see something you haven't seen before, that's cool. Like, did that exist? And you wonder what else exists. Is there? We've got 48, 88. I guess there was a few in the range.
I'm not sure, to be honest. It's not my specialist
You're
subject.
More steamy. Big diesels.
Well, probably don't know a lot about big diesels either.
Yeah.
You can't know everything, can you? But certainly the 48 and the 88 seem the common two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of them though. There's locos like with the Hunslet saddle tanks that Rapido do. They do like the 16-inch, and there's like a 14-inch and a 15-inch, and all that. So it's sort of cylinder bores.
I see.
And it's hard to know just glancing at one which versions which. It's like with on the Festiniog you got Welsh Pony, Prince, and Palmerston. And Welsh Pony's are large England, and Prince and Palmerston are small England. But at a glance, you can't really tell the difference. You know.
I think when I first kind of got into the hobby again, even though it's very clear when you lay them up, but you got Castles, Kings, Saints, Lady of Legend, all these different ones. You line them up, you could see, that's the difference. But
all Great Western engines look the same.
It's got that similarities that are so similar that I'm like, so that one's a 4-cylinder. Okay, right, and that's because of these details. And over time, it's really clear. The King's got a completely different front bogey. It's quite strikingly different once you know it.
Yeah.
But on initial glance, you could tell someone didn't know much about it, and they'd be like, okay.
It's a common saying in the hobby, especially in the real preserved railways and photography, and all Great Western engines look the same, which will just trigger a lot of Great Western enthusiasts.
So obviously, just for those that don't know, I love the Great Western Railway. I'm not trying to upset the lovers of it. So obviously Gaydon, I saw you at. I know that the Milton Keynes Getz was a huge show.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy in terms of attendance and all that. It was rammed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obviously Pete Waterman's layout had a big influence on it. A lot of people turned up to see that.
Was that a full length of what would be an aisle, effectively?
It actually took up sort of an two aisle space because the fiddle yard took up one way, and it was. I think the trade liaison officer was saying to me he lost over 300 foot of space for that one. Like, it's 152 foot long, and then the fiddle yard was 152 foot long or whatever it was as well.
Because upstairs, remember when I went the year before? Or even the year before that, I can't remember how long I've been. They had the different levels, so I'm guessing they're probably crammed out a bit more.
There was the mezzanines had stuff on, and there's I don't think you saw it, but the room where the awards were the year before was also had layouts and traders in it, as well as like a side room.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I saw them setting up last time.
So that was also had layouts and traders in, which I guess next year either they'll have more layouts and traders or they won't use that room again.
Yeah.
As a trader, I probably wouldn't have been too chuffed if they'd put me in there. I don't know. You probably wouldn't have much difference, but you just feel...
Is that all the best?
You feel you're out the way there.
Yeah,
you know?
Everyone spent their money by the time they've got to you.
Well, yeah, you always fear that, don't you? You know.
And then obviously Worley's the last big one, really.
Yeah. Worley was interesting.
Yeah.
It's we did all right. Can't complain. We're in a nice position this year. We got back where we wanted to be. So, I didn't really get much chance to look round Worley. It was constantly, you know, the guys wanted to have a look round who were helping me out, but it was, I mean, it's still the sort of name. It's sort of when you talk about model shows, Worley's the kind of name that crops up, really. So, but it's. Didn't seem as busy as it had done in previous years. I don't know if the playing field's levelled out a bit with shows.
I see. So everyone used to see Worley as the prime one.
The standout. Yeah.
So I went last year and it was cool and it was brimming. Felt like with people, but so it'd be interesting to go back next year.
I actually think it gets a bigger attendance than all the other shows, but because you're in such a big space, you don't notice that many people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Get's got something like 6,000, 8,000. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what Brody quoted me. Where Worley must have got at least 12,000, but didn't feel as busy because obviously you're spreading out over a whole 5 of the NEC.
Yeah, that's nicer for someone like myself. Yeah. If I want to go and video it out, sometimes I remember I went down to the Bristol. Doncaster.
Oh, Doncaster
was rammed, and I thought I'll just film a few layouts, and I had to do things over people's shoulders because it was like 1 or 2 people deep quite a lot of the time, so it was quite intense.
Doncaster's an interesting one. Doncaster seems to have got busier since COVID.
I see.
Yeah. All the other shows seem to have got busier since COVID. Doncaster, Ali Pally, Doncaster, Ali Pally, Getz have all got busier since COVID, where Worley seems to have got slightly quieter since COVID. So maybe that's just like a balancing out thing. I don't know, but yeah, it's. I mean, they've all been good. They've all been great shows. We've done really well at them. I've hit my sort of, without wanting to give away too much, I've hit my high end targets at them. So you know.
Well, we all know that you're doing all right. So like you're having a shop. So.
Well, we've got another 5 years now, haven't we?
Yeah. So a big announcement for you. It's obviously you put it on Facebook, didn't you? That you've signed up for a bit longer. Yeah,
it took a lot of soul searching to sign it. I'll be honest with you. There was several days when it was like, do I really want to do this for another 5 years? And it was a bit, bit touch and go at times. Yeah,
we touched on the subject of obviously some of the pains of
and it was. Before. We were going through quite a few of them pains all around the time when this piece of paper was in front of me saying sign here.
It's like a marriage certificate for 5 years, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah. But we'll give it another 5 years. At least, I mean, great. You know, if things are all right in 5 years' time after that, we'll give it another 5 years. You know,
I like to think I can always come here and spend my hard-earned cash.
That's what we need.
So if you are local to town or fancy a travel over, come say hi. So it's got a good story to tell.
Apparently so.
I'd like to think that they're good stories. The other big thing to announce, Tony has a new calendar here. If you watch any of my videos, you'll see it up on my wall, and you'll see if I've actually turned the calendar pages. But I won't show you all the pages because that gives away what greatness. There's a quick little flash of all what's inside just there. But no, Tony, you like taking photos?
It's one of my hobbies. Yeah, you know, railway photography. Probably real railways probably my biggest hobby at the moment because model railways is kind of. It's stopped being a hobby because it's a career kind of thing, but I still interested in railway modelling and still collecting. But
there's so you always talk about every loco that you've fired and been in and driven. I do you've got a model of.
I get it. Well, not everyone.
Well,
I've tried to. That's one of the collections. Is everything I've worked on.
That'd be a good collection to see one day. Maybe you can let me get some insight on that one.
Yeah, we can look at that. Yeah, but
can you order it on the website?
I know it's only in store. The calendars.
Another reason to come see Tony at the shop. Really. So that's the calendar.
Yeah, that's the calendar.
So I'm your glamorous assistant.
Indeed.
Displaying it. And the other thing is, you mentioned to me the other day, which I thought was really cool. You've got a product.
I was going to say, we'll segue into something you can order on the website.
Yeah, then so go for
which,
it.
hopefully will be appearing on screen as we're talking.
That's right.
Our friends at Rapido Trains, Andy and Dan at Rapido, came to me with the
Some
idea.
of the products here.
Yeah, we've got some Rapido there. In fact, ideally in the background here is the Not Quite Mink wagon, which is kind of wagons that are similar to the Great Western Iron Mink, but not the same. And they're making a series of them, and this kind of inspired what we were doing with Rapido. And they announced the GCR Lowmac last year or whenever it was, in obviously GCR livery and LMS liveries, I think, because I think the LMS copied the design or whatever.
I see.
But the design that the GCR used is basically based on a sort of an advancement of a Great Central design, which was the Great Central Mac N wagon.
I see.
So kind of in the same style of Not Quite Mink, we're having a Not Quite Mac wagon in Great Central livery.
I see.
So that it will be available to order on our website.
So is there personal interest?
Well, yeah, being a Great Central fan, like being a Great Central volunteer and being involved with the Great Central Association at Woodford Hulse and all that down the years, it's very much a case of they pitched it to me on their channel. You're a Great Central guy. Let's get you a Great Central model.
They didn't have to twist around too much on that one.
It took a bit of thinking. I mean, we've had to commit to a minimum of 150, which for a small shop like us, medium shop. I'm not going to do myself down too much.
I reckon you're at least a medium.
You know, it's a lot. It's a lot to commit to 150 wagons when we sort of sell between half a dozen and a dozen of a new release wagon. To suddenly have to sell 150 is quite a lot. Yeah. Which we'll be putting them on the website though. You can pre-order it on the website.
Okay.
There'll be two options. One is £10 deposit.
Okay.
And the other is to pay in full.
Okay.
In fact, exclusive offer for the podcast. If on the wagon you enter the word podcast into pay in full, you'll get 10% off. Nice. There we go.
That's very, very good.
Discount code podcast.
So yeah, PODCAST.
ST.
There we go. So we're just is it currently on your website now?
It will be on the website when we launch a video.
Okay, that's cool. So click on that. So I'll leave a link
in the description.
Yeah, the description below. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is your first commission, would it be?
Our very first commission exclusive, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's something we've been talking to Andy about for a while.
Okay.
In fact, on the Not Quite Minks, there's a Grieve Cement one.
Okay.
And that kind of started the conversation because Andy was like, "Can we do you a limited edition wagon?" I was like, "Well, you've just announced one of the things I would consider, which is Grieve Cement, because that's near where I was born and live." Yeah.
Already done that.
That's already available in the 00 range. Do
you have any of that?
It's just there. Yeah. That's the Grieve Cement. That. Yeah.
Okay.
Grieve Cement. There you go. Grieve. You probably can't see it because of the flash, but Grieve Cement Harbury is just down the road from where I was born and raised.
I see, so you can have both kind of lined up with each other. That would be nice. So what other things would be fitting with it? Like what kind of locos would you be working?
As in the Mac N, anything Great Central really. So you got the Bachmann 04 and the Bachmann J11, Great Central freight engines.
So you could have a themed.
Yeah. I mean, Great Central's it's quite a popular. Obviously, I'm going to be biased because I'm a Great Central guy.
I would.
It seems quite popular in amongst the modelling world. Like when you see the kit built engines come up on eBay, they tend to go for good money. And the NRM did a limited edition Great Central 04 or 8K as it would be in Great Central terms in Great Central livery, and they go for mega money on eBay. I've got managed to secure one of them for my personal collection at quite an extortionate fee a few years back. Yeah. So and hopefully there'll be more Great Central wagons available in the future, things like that. So
cool. And I guess you get a taste for this. There'll be more products
Certainly
over time.
If this one sells well, then we'll go on and make some more. Yeah. I mean, the minimum order we got to do is 150. If pre-orders are,
I reckon you shift them.
Well, if pre-orders are substantial, we'll increase it to 200, 250. The deadline to put an order in is January the 15th with Rapido. That's when Andy said that's when you need to give me your final quantity.
Yeah.
So,
and do you have an estimated time of when they will be in?
We're hoping summer next year, so summer 2024. But you know how these things are. Time can shift. It's not a guarantee, but we'll
on the website.
Cross our fingers. Yeah,
you're going to have a little thing obviously when it's due, and if it does change,
there'll be a description in there, and we'll keep updating. And people who have ordered one, we'll do it. If there is a delay, we'll email out and say, look, we're delayed until blah blah blah. Very sorry, kind of thing. But, I mean, normally I don't like taking deposits on products or paying for, but because I've got to pay a deposit to buy these wagons, I've got to be a bit more.
Well, you've got to protect yourself in one way.
A little bit,
and anyone that's we've been doing this game for a little while, and people people are used to waiting
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
For so many products now, we
yeah.
hear so far in advance.
Well, yeah. I mean, certainly we've seen quite a lot of announcements recently, haven't we? And we're going to be looking, I'd say, a couple of years on all of those. You know, so we're only talking about 6-7 months hopefully on the Mac. 'Cause obviously a Mac was announced last year, so this is just an extra addition to send to tooling. But
no, I really hope it goes well. I'll probably get one off you just so I can have one.
So you can have one.
Well, it's a limited run, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So,
limited run exclusive.
Yeah, so I'll be very
hopefully
happy
that'll be
to.
popular.
Yeah. I'll write my number on. I'm like, is this the first one you got, Tony? Like, no. Well, okay.
No.
So yeah,
that'll be a good one.
That's cool.
Then obviously we've got some other announcements recently. Well, Rapido themselves have announced 4 new Steam locos.
Well, I was very excited when they announced the Small Prairie originally. Obviously, they've had samples since then, so that's not a most recent thing.
No.
But for me, something
Although
maybe you could put me one on order.
Well, one that they have announced that might interest you is the South Eastern Chatham O1.
Okay.
So that's the engine that burnt you.
That's right.
The old camera burn.
Phone ringing.
Can you believe that?
We'll pause for a second.
There we go, viewers. That was an 0330 number interrupting me. What a treat.
What a treat.
Because we all love cold callers.
Yeah, so I think I talked about it on the podcast, didn't I?
Yeah, the first podcast we did, we talked about the cold hitting you.
It serves me right for enjoying myself.
Yeah.
No.
Serves you right for window hanging and ruining all the photographer's shots. And all that.
Obviously I don't find it funny because then I'm watching who is that person, but when I'm there doing my recording and then I see someone on the platform, I'm like, I'm ruining their shot, and I'm like, this is important. So I do duck in if I'm thinking I'm just rolling to a station shot. But sometimes when you're behind the loco and it's barking away and you're like, this is good.
Yeah.
So I can watch that back.
But yeah, they've announced that, and they've announced the Porter Power Twins.
Okay.
Which is Bill and
Ben. But they look so. I'm like, how does the driver get in there?
It kind of drops down.
Yeah, so it's a bit like the narrow gauge locos where they're quite low down that bit.
We did have them at Great Central about 10 years ago.
Really?
I didn't get to go on one, unfortunately, but I did have a little look at one, and it does kind of sort of drop. You're not far off the floor in one of them, kind of.
It's like a sports car.
Kind of, kind of. Very weird sports car.
Yeah. So what I wonder is of two things: are they still in Steam? Can you still go see them, or are they out
they're at
now?
the Bodmin and Wentford Railway. I think one of them's definitely in traffic, if not both. I know. Because obviously Rapido are doing the sound files for them. Andy's done all that recording for them,
cool.
so and that was done with them recently, I believe. So.
Yeah. So it makes sense. They're doing a project. If they need sound files, they're going to need the thing to be running.
One interesting about them, they call them the twins. But Alfred is about 15 years younger than Judy.
Oh, I see.
It's a very long gap between the twins, kind of, you know.
Long labour moment. Yeah. So the whole them being called twins, is that before the whole Bill and Ben twins thing came about? Was that history there?
I think they'd always been nicknamed the twins because they're the same class kind of thing, same design. But obviously, and Wilbert saw them and basically chose to base a pair of characters off them, and the idea of them being twin engines. I mean, it might be a bit of a chicken and egg thing. Have they been called the twins because Wilbert called them that, or is it the other way around? I guess
we'll never quite know. There'll be someone that knows.
Well, I'm sure either Richard Audrey or our friend Luke Ryan, who runs the Navigation Museum at Talaflin, or Tom Marshall, one of those three, will have the answer for us.
Yeah, we'll have to ask this on another podcast.
One of the Audrey experts. Yeah. Well,
we've had a little chat on obviously having more than just us two on the podcast, haven't we?
Well, we got Tom's very keen to come on, Tom Marshall, and then Rob from Little Wicket's very keen to come on. So that's hopefully next year we'll have some guests on the channel. A bit of a chat.
The podcast initially was just a bit of a fun idea, wasn't it? And so you said it already had a few people.
It's been mentioned at most of the shows we go to. It gets mentioned, and Jordan, who helps us out on the shows, has now started a Where's Tris fund.
Yeah.
So it's like £5 goes in the pot every time someone asks where you are.
Oh, I like that. What are we up to now?
I've no idea, but I'm sure he'll tell you.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Because he keeps saying he wants a fleece.
He wants a fleece.
He wants a fleece. Yeah, wants a Tony's Trains fleece for the shows.
I see. I could have a Tony's Trains fleece.
Not
to keep
made
me
of
warm.
money.
I'll get my own one done. I just need your logo.
Yeah. I need to get a better logo. Really, that's another of the jobs. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, so they've announced them, and and there's the J52 tank, the Great Northern J52. That's an inspired choice, in my opinion. That's one that Hornby did years ago, but it's been long overdue an upgrade. One preserved, National Rail Museum, and all that, and they'd also the Great Northern Stirling single wheeler.
Oh yeah, no, I've
Yeah,
seen,
that's coming back.
Yeah. I think that would be almost that collector's item in one way, won't it? Because the nearest thing you can get to that is an old Hornby thing, or has there been something out there?
Well, Rapido did it for the NRM as an exclusive.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it. There's another. Basically, it had two tenders. It had a small tender and a large tender.
Okay.
The large tender is still an NRM exclusive. The small tender is for everyone.
Yeah.
But as models go, it's pretty much Rapido the only ones who've ever made it. I mean, Hornby did Lord of the Isles and the Caledonian single 1, 2, 3. But the Great Northern one is pretty much Rapido only, and it's crazy to think they were going on eBay for like £800-900 at one point. So to bring them back, I think will fill a lot of modelers' desires to have one.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. It'd just be cool to have on the show because it's quite striking looking.
Oh yeah, it's quite striking looking. It has ran in the preservation era. It ran at the Great Central in the early 80s. So you know, so there's it's not just something that's been a museum piece since the 1920s or whatever. It's had a bit of a career behind it. You know? So it's got
I take it you haven't driven one of them.
I haven't driven one of them. No, it was. I'm not that old. I think the last time it steamed, I was about 4, something like that. So,
Please, sir, can I get on?
Yeah. Yeah. Although I know several people who have driven it at the Great Central. So yeah.
One product that's been into your shop, I think. I don't know if you were selling them on the other ones, but I saw the Titfield Thunderbolt obviously sets out now.
Another Rapido product. Yeah.
At my Model Railway Club, they had a gentleman came in. He was, I think, he was a consultant now. He was the editor of Model Rail.
Oh right.
And so he came to the club and ran it around. I probably got it all wrong, and
that'd be Chris Lee, would it?
Yeah, he came, lovely gentleman.
He
brought his set and because it had the sound files and had
it does quotes from the film.
Yeah, I was like, I think my camera didn't quite pick up because everyone was noisy.
Yeah,
but I thought that's because I didn't know that.
It's very cool, isn't it? Yeah, it's very different choice.
It's that pure like that novelty, like the whole concept of it. The novelty, it's through and through.
Yeah,
that's one of my favourite products I've seen lately, if I'm honest. And then I've seen in, I think it's Model Rail again. They've done a Titfield Thunderbolt layout.
Yeah,
Model Rail?
I don't know. I've seen it in one of the magazines. Probably is Model Rail.
It was one of them.
And it's Railway Modeler, isn't it?
Okay, I've got it at home. I need to check.
Other magazines are available.
Yeah, there are a few out there that you can get.
Buy them all, and you'll find.
Yeah, just hunt through. But anyway, they've done like the uncovered shed that the 14XX was in. I was reading. I was like, I need more time to look at these.
Yeah,
so.
and of course Rapido have done the coach as well. They've always featured up well coach in the fancy bar car livery. You know. Mr. Valentine's bar and all that.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So, because he was the one that paid for it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's like, he was just there getting drunk the whole time. Even when the engine was going to pop, he was there, like he was collecting all his bottles.
Spirits first.
Yeah.
There's a great story about the guy Tebby Clark, who wrote the Titfield Thunderbolt. He based it on someone he knew, Mr. Valentine, like a local sort of eccentric gentleman. Whether he was a rich guy, whether he was an alcoholic, I don't know. But
it's a nice fit.
Yeah, they persuaded this guy to go and see it in the cinema. And bear in mind, 1952, it was Ealing Studios' first Technicolor film, and colour wasn't prevalent in the 1950s. Apparently, they got him into the cinema. First time in cinema for years. Sat him down. His titles roll up. And the damn thing's in colour, and he walked out. So he never actually saw himself on the screen.
I see. I see. Oh. No, but wonderful movie.
Yeah. Very good nostalgia flick, I think is how I described Titfield. I wouldn't say it was that funny, because it's meant to be a comedy, and I wouldn't say it was that funny.
I think for me, it's like at the end when you've got all the steam locos doing their whistles at the end. It's like, no, I've just ruined the end of the movie for you.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. But that's kind of cool. So I think there's some great Western logos.
It's all great Western, so it's interesting you picked up on that.
Yeah, and the one thing that I'm hoping Rapido do, because someone needs to do it, is release a nice 14XX.
It is overdue. I mean, I think we touched on it in the last video, didn't we? We need an auto tank. Yeah, it would be nice to have a new. And kind of when Rapido announced Titfield Thunderbolt, I thought, oh, that's it, we're going to get a new auto tank.
I was really hoping they would announce that they're doing it, and then they released a small Prairie, which fine, I'll have one of them. Thank you.
Yeah.
But a nice 14XX would be good.
And we can segue now into the Cure Scale pannier tank.
Oh yes.
That obviously was announced recently.
I got very happy about that, and I didn't realise until Richard pointed out to me, as Richard is their media man.
Yeah, we're talking
there.
New Junction, a Cure Scale. So, Richard, we know a lot of Richards, don't we?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He pointed out, did you notice duck?
Yeah, 5741.
So and I didn't realise that they've got one in the numbering of duck. I thought that's wonderful. So I'm gonna have to stick a face on one of them.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. So obviously they've got obviously a range. I'm sure they're going to come out on that.
Yeah,
they can do a lot with the 57.
There is, yeah. There's 7754, which is at the Llangollen Railway in its national coal board livery they've announced, and 7714 at the Severn Valley in the current livery at Carris. Yeah. I think 9681, the Dean Forest pannier, which is in the calendar actually. 9681 is Miss October.
We won't show people. We don't want to ruin the picture.
No, but it's Miss October in the calendar.
Miss October. I like it.
So there's a lot of choice of preservation modellers. There's 5741 for the Thomas fans, and it'd be interesting to see who picks up on the fact it is Duck, because obviously in the books he's 5741, on the telly he's number 8. So it'd be interesting to see who actually picks up on that. It's a
number 8.
Very subtle, I
think it's a great gesture towards it.
Yeah. Inspired choice, I thought.
Yeah. So the thing is, for me, it's we've Background released their 57 quite a few years ago now. Yeah, it's quite old tooling.
It's quite old tooling. It still has some of the mainline model left in it, I believe. Don't sue me if
I know
wrong,
the body definitely is. Because I remember I've got my mainline version. I got the new one, and I was quite surprised because some of the details I think were still moulded onto it.
The mainline version for its day was amazing. The Bachmann version also was amazing, but it's probably one of the few models in the Bachmann range that is ready for a retool. Yeah. So it's
be interesting their view on should we do another one, and because you've got the 37 battle, haven't you? Between Bachmann and Akura scale in that regard, and actually companies aren't afraid to we'll make one too.
Well, I don't know if it's an afraid thing or whether it's obviously with the Manners, it was a case that there was I genuinely think that was neither Dapol or Akura scale realised the other one was working on one. Of course, you get to a certain stage of a tooling where you can't back out. You've gone so far that I think there's this sort of belief almost in the industry that why don't they just cancel it? They probably spent tens of thousands already. You've got
on the R&D time.
You've got to go through it exactly. Yeah,
I know that from my side of things, like you spent 6 months on a project, you're about to order it. Yeah, I'm sorry, you've got to now.
Yeah, you've made your bed kind of. Yeah, obviously you get people say, wouldn't it be great if they all spoke to each other? That's kind of monopolistic, that is, and it's kind of against the rules.
Yeah, there's some law probably.
Yeah, there are monopoly rules and all that. Yeah, and of course, on the subject of duplication, we now have 2 companies making a War Department 210.
Yep.
A model that's been sought after for years by enthusiasts, again because of the preservation connection. Gordon at the Severn Valley, Dame Vera Lynn at the North York Moors, and the one that's now at North Norfolk, which was at Hants and various other railways down the years. So so people have been crying for one of them for years, and now we've got 2 companies at once. That being Ellis Clark. Ellis Clark's first ready-to-run 00 Loco, I think it is. Because he's obviously done quite a bit in Ellis, and he's done a lot of rolling stock. He's doing the quad arc coaches, I think, in 00.
Yeah, so Ellis Clark, and they've got one of the chaps that worked at Hatton's there now. Okay. Yeah, so the pictures, see him working there. Yeah. He's got you. I remember from the adverts. He'd always been in that one. And so I see that obviously they're growing as a company. They're not just people that sell models. They're very much into
watching Ellis grow has been quite an interesting one, because I remember when he first appeared on the scene, and he was kind of this guy who just seemed to be selling off a lot of second-hand, very cheap kind of thing, and we're like, where's this guy come from? And then of course he went off into the sort of very bespoke, very high-end O gauge and gauge 1 and things like that, and he's got a beautiful showroom and all this, so he's really done well, really up and coming company. And of course now they're making their own models, they're winning awards. I think they won at least 1, if not 2 awards at the Hornby Awards, which of course we didn't win, did we? No. But thank you for everyone who voted.
Yeah, we must try harder next time to persuade your votes.
Yeah, but thank you for those who did. Much appreciated. Yeah. It's not the winning, it's the taking part.
I think my dad voted for me 19 times, so thanks, Dad. So,
my dad didn't.
No.
We couldn't really, could he? A bit morbid.
Yeah.
What were we saying? Yeah, so they've really grown. They've really expanded as a company, and it shows that there is still opportunities in the industry if you can spot them. Yeah. So good luck to win that project.
Yeah.
And of course, the other ones who have announced it announced at Wally was KR Models have announced a WD210.
Yeah, and they had samples of Big Bertha as well there.
Did they?
Yeah, I saw one. I think I can't remember if it was a running model on a set of wheels, but I could like because is it an 080 or was it?
010, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks I don't know, quite a different looking loco.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see one in real life at some point. So interesting one. But again, like obviously we've got the 2 The WD, that was
WD.
Is that 210?
That's a 210, yeah.
210,
The 280, of course, being an historical Bachmann product for the last few years, which in historical terms there were far more 280s than 210s.
Okay.
But there's only one 280 in preservation, which I think is where the first for a 210 has come from, because there's several 210s preserved. But
That'd be interesting in the first radius.
But yeah, both. Well, there should be. Well, I don't want to put it around the first radius, but I'd imagine.
Be good in straight lines.
I'd hope that Ellis and KO are developing them so they'll go around the second radius.
I'm sure they would know what
and of
the
course,
spec is.
you know what there was. I don't know how there was hundreds of WD 280s on BR, and there was 20 of the 210s on BR, so it is a BR locomotive.
You know your 210s there.
Yeah, they're all in Scotland, the 210s in BR in the BR days, but they did run on BR. So,
and obviously we know that 10 wheels works. We've got a 9F, haven't we?
Yeah, well that's true. Yeah,
I'm just
9F,
looking at you've got loads in that shelf over there.
Bachmann 9F.
It's pretty cool actually, because you've got the weathered ones and then there are sparking ones.
Yeah, I mean, off shot we got a couple of Hornby 9Fs up top there.
That's right.
Yeah, the 9F is, I mean, it's a bit of an icon, isn't it? Let's face it.
I picked up my 17, didn't I?
17.
Was it 77 at the end? What's the one 922?
Oh, 14. 92214 at the GC, yeah.
I don't know where the 7 came from.
Yeah,
sorry,
well,
guys.
She's due to go out of traffic soon, actually. 92214. She's had her 10 years in traffic, and hopefully we'll make our January gala at the end of January, and then that'll be her out for a major overhaul. So
So I take it. Obviously, events-wise, for the big railway stuff, there's not much happening.
Well, it's Santa season now, isn't it? Yeah, it's Santa season. I mean, anyone looking to do something with a family, Santa trains are fantastic, you know.
Yeah, Ticket Railway are doing that, because I was thinking, maybe pop down there, but they've got that. So I'll pop down maybe.
I think pretty much every heritage railway are doing them, aren't they? So
they've got to do something to
support your local heritage railway. Take the kids to meet Santa.
I went to Nen Valley. If you've would have seen one of my latest videos. Sorry, or Nini.
Nini.
It's quite a triggering topic, actually.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, we've got quite a few on that. Emily commented, my partner, on that, because being a Northampton girl, she says Nen as well.
Yeah, that local way of saying something. Yeah. It's like slough or slough and stuff like that. Obviously, we've gone through these.
Scone or scone.
That's right. And so I went there, their spooky day out type thing.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And it was...
yeah, of course, the bucket was running, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Is that what you call
that's
it?
a Hunslet Austerity J94, whatever you want to call it.
It was nice because I think there was one. What's the I've forgotten the name of the railway now. Corn and. No, I can't remember the name. I'm struggling now. This is where I'm going to have to do an edit.
Yeah. No, we're going to expose
there's
you.
the railway, which has got a very short line, but it's going to be extended.
Right.
I have to drive. I went there ages ago. What have they got there? They basically had one of them there, and it had a really short trim. No. It's a bigger railway than that. They've got quite a lot of land,
right.
And they currently still have a line going through it with a like a coal place.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember the name.
Quainton Road.
Quainton.
Buckinghamshire Railway Centre.
Yeah. That one.
Oh,
sorry.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why I can. The Quain, I think Corn and.
Yeah. Well, again, GC Metropolitan Joint, so the Corn Quainton connection is more than just a QU.
I see. Yeah. So they had one and it had a really short chimney on. I remember actually it wasn't coming out the chimney fully. There was some leaky bits coming out of that. But anyway, so that reminded me. Of that.
In a different life, I used to volunteer at Quain Road.
Really?
Yeah, back in the sort of mid-90s, I was a volunteer there. Yeah, before then I had a break from it. For when you get into your late teens, early 20s, you do tend to drift away a little bit. Yeah. And then came back to the GC. I was Quainton Road and Linton Bas when I was younger.
I see.
Yeah, we didn't even have any track at Linton Bas when I volunteered there. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I've went down there in the summer and on a wet day.
Well, North Devon is known for its liquid sunshine.
Oh, it was lovely. It was nice going there, and they had their plan for their extensions.
Again, another one that's buying a lot of land with the vision of going further and further forward, and impressive, to be fair. I mean, these are things we couldn't even dream of. When I used to go down there in the mid-90s, we'd only just acquired Woody Bay.
Yeah.
Still say we, not been involved for over 20 years, but still say we. And it's beautiful to see it. In fact, the first time I went back there when there was trains running, I actually cried. It was that, It was like, bloody hell, that's what we used to, sort of almost dream of back in them days when we were digging drainage ditches and all that,
So that's it. So you probably thought, I can't imagine how this will be.
Oh, I didn't go until about 2013. It would have been. I just didn't get a chance, and I've got to get down to Woody Bay one day, and I finally got down there. I was like, I had a foot plate ride on the replica Manning Wardle and the replica Baldwin they've got there, and it's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. In fact, that's my next project is going to be to build a Linton basketball theme layout.
Yeah. What do we have here, Tony?
What we got here? So so my next project would be to use some of these. This is the new Lionheart Linton basketball Manning Wardles.
Yeah.
This one is X in this is at the early Southern condition, so it's carrying Linton basketball livery, but it's got the Southern number on the side. But I'm going to have a set of these and have a dabble in 016.5.
Nice.
Mine will be probably in the Southern livery, but this is just one we've got to hand in the shop. Of course you can, yeah.
Cool.
Metal bodied and all that.
I won't drop it. Yeah.
I the headlamps work.
I can see myself.
Yeah, the shiny brass dome. Yeah.
Wow.
You got working headlamps, and the cab roof comes off there, so you can see all the cab details and all that. Beautiful cab detail.
Nice, isn't it?
I was going to do my Linton basketball project in 009, but I think now these have come out, I'm erring to 016.5.
Yeah, not that I'm negative about 009, but it's tricky to get working nicely and easily. So you, I have my little tricky moments with it. So this scale, obviously the weight of that logo there's a lot of weight there.
There we go.
So I take it this is one that's for sale.
This is one that's for sale. I've got all livery versions in stock for sale. I've had 3 for myself and a couple of sets of coaches to go with them. Yeah,
nice.
There's some that are sat in my office right now at home.
Good.
And at some point I shall have a little Linton basketball dabble in 016.5. But yeah, I'd been that's one I've been looking forward to for a long while. So when I actually saw them, I was like, wow.
Yeah. It's an impressive logo. Actually, it's. Yeah, I know there's something nice about narrow gauge and the larger size, like when you see even up to the Garden Railway size.
I mean, hopefully it will be a success and it'll inspire other manufacturers to have a go at 016.5. I mean, obviously we've seen Bachmann and Pico in 009 as well as Haljan, and this is Haljan in fact made the Manning Wardles in 009, but they weren't the most successful model. They go fine in a straight line, but they're not too fond of corners.
Yeah, I think you've got some in your shelf.
Just a few, just a few. Yeah, that's been one of the.
They wouldn't work on my layout.
They definitely wouldn't work on your layout. We might be stuck with them for a while.
Even my double fairly struggles a little bit sometimes. Really? It goes tight on the and the set track radius as well.
That's surprising. They should go around the set track, all right.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's because it's got the little drive shafts and it slows down.
Oh right, well as long as it goes around.
Yeah, the O-Fro's alright.
I suppose in theory, if it slows down on the corner, it's being prototypical.
Well, there we go. It's doing it for me. It's like you do realise I should be going slower.
You don't want to end up down the side of the valley, do you?
No, that's right. Yeah. That's cool though.
Cracking model.
Yeah.
So that might be my next project. Is I've got some baseboards that are sat in my office.
Get you a bit more into the hobby, I guess.
Yeah, and if I build a portable layout, if I do look at moving house or whatever, it can come with me.
Could be at Statford Bar next year, Tony.
No. No, I've already got enough going on at Statford without having to worry about either operating my exhibition layout or worrying who's breaking my.
I reckon
models.
You could get Jordan to run it or something.
Jordan, I don't do steam Jordan.
Oh, no, pretend it's a diesel. Don't tell him it's steam.
Don't do steam, mate. Someone said to him at Worley, they were like, "Oh, you should do steam. You'll sell more models." And he was like, "No, we do. It's just a joke." There you go. But no, it's one of them that very impressive bit of kit. We've been kind of spoilt for models really in recent times, and of course that's a whole new scale as well. Well, not a new scale, but a whole new avenue, because that's O gauge, narrow gauge.
Yeah. The thing is that would stimulate people that already sell the O gauge size of things at the end of the day, like people. And model use only might start selling more. Well, people just because of that reason.
And then Dapple are doing the station buildings in O gauge, and I think Dapple have done the signal as well, the starter signal.
Because it's quite distinct. I remember when I went there, they had a couple of different styles that they'd made.
Interestingly, Woody Bay, when you look at the photos, you had the Southern Railway rail built at one end, and you had the Linton Basketball lattice style at the other kind of thing. Even in the photos of the Linton Basketball in the 1930s, that's how it was. It's not like they just put them up to represent each different style. It's actually prototypical.
That's good. No, I look forward to seeing your layouts.
Well, don't hold your breath. I mean, I think we've got more chance of your layout appearing before mine.
Well, I'm hoping to get it done quick enough so I can play. Yeah, that's my aim. So, I'm looking forward to that. So keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, keep an eye out for it in 2024.
Yeah.
So I guess you're going to do a couple of update videos on that.
I'm going to do quite a few. I'm trying to do like bite-sized chunks. So for myself, it's manageable and fun. So in the evening, I'm not doing a video over a week and then I've got to get it done. And it's kind of these 15-minute snippets of recording about a minute at a time, pop bits up. And it means that I can enjoy doing videos.
That's what it's about, isn't it? I mean, that's what I think you've got to be careful. You know, it's a hobby. You don't want to turn it into a career, do you?
That's right. You get busy with work. You get home. The thing that you do can't be the job, apart from washing dishes and changing bed sheets. That's
a great hobby, isn't it?
Yeah. I imagine it could be someone's hobby. I guess.
Could be, yeah.
I've been doing this for 30 years.
There are people who are obsessed with vacuum cleaning, aren't there? So things like that. Yeah.
I guess OCD kind of get satisfied with things like that. But so the whole idea of the videos are obviously it helps other people. Something it shares my journey. The main thing is I noticed that shunting layouts for me are interesting. Yes, it's nice having a big layout with a massive train coming through and everything. But I think because it's you can put it on your lap almost and enjoy yourself. A lot of people want to be in that position. They don't either have a loft, spare room, but they have a shelf they can go on. So that kind of, and I have the shelf and I have my hobby area and I can get it down and use it. And so I want to share that. And if I get a new product from me, like my A88DS, I can run it on there. I could probably do a nice running shot. And it'd be good.
So, an 88DS hauling a great central Lowmac. Well, Mac N. And not quite Mac.
Not quite Mac. So that's my plan.
That's your current upcoming, is it?
Yeah.
What about the loft layout? What's happening with that?
The loft layout. So basically, I had a window. I was thinking line. A window put in, so you can open it. And right, cool. I'll get a new loft hatch done because it's a bit of a pain. So one of these ones you can get from B&Q for £100. Put that in, great. Oh, okay. And because they had to reconstitute my joists, my beams that came down, it then kind of made me think, well, maybe I can reconstitute some other bits. So with the help of a builder, I've done some other parts of that side of the loft. Now I'm thinking, right, well, I could build up a modular style bit this side, so that I can take it down through my large loft hatch and work it downstairs. But the other side of the railway has all the beams coming down, and it has a layout that is full of compromise. Of I start with this bit, I could have a station here, go around a curve. That'd be a great idea. Actually, it's a really terrible idea because doing platforms is a pain. It's across joints. It's
awkward, isn't it?
And I'm like, I don't like what I've done. And you've done all these videos, and well, that is kind of nice, and that's kind of nice. But I can do it again. So that's what we're doing again. And I like the idea of ripping it all out. Reconstituting the beams in the nice way with the help of the builder. And then border all that up, make it all nice, and now build a full modular layout that if I moved house I could take it with me. My brother did this.
That's kind of my vision for a layout in the future. If I do build a big one, it'll be modular.
If I had to, I could take it to a show. You know, that kind of thing. It'd be an absolute pain. But the view to take a section out, because the wiring on your table is already a pain to do, because getting it right, and some people aren't super competent. That's mostly me a lot of the time.
It's crap at wiring as well.
And so if I've got a 3-way point, which I've just wired for this one, which is a pain. I spent about an hour and a half messing around, get it all in and get it right, and I did that wrong, rewire this. If I'm crawling underneath my layout and I'm trying to do it, no, it's not fun. So I want to be able to take it down, work in it. And when my dad, when I was a kid, he'd get half the layout in and he'd have it all out. He'd be doing the nice wiring, and then it gets all slotted back in. So that's my idea for the loft layout. So I'm trying to do other things to keep me stimulated with the hobby. And gradually, bit by bit, doing the loft art, redo the lighting, and get it nice. And it's quite an emotional thing when you put so many bits down, and you think this is it. This will be the best railway anyone's ever seen. And the reality is I hate all of it. Hate's a strong word, but I don't like how it is. And I want to make it so it's more fun, really simple. I almost just want to put one line down. So something comes through, because before in my head I wanted 4 lines, and there's trains passing all the time, and that's full train set mode, whereas I've kind of got more my Vela Rydal layout, and one line came through, I was happy as Larry on that, and it's coming through, great, next one, it's coming through, and I feel like doing something like that. So I think seeing what's Mulder Raspberry. I like his layout. I think he has 2 lines on his, or is it 1?
I've seen some pictures that looks like a single track.
Yeah.
Whether it goes from 2 into 1 or whether there's a separate line, I'm not sure. But yeah.
So I like that. I like that simplicity and because when you're playing with Loki, you're normally only focusing on one.
That's true. Yeah,
and yes, you can have both passing each other, but after a couple of loops, you get bored of that.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to do. Just have a good think and make it nice and have sections like my Vela Rider one focused on this section's going to be based on that bridge. This is going to be based kind of on that station. And work my way around the bits, and that will keep me stimulated. Go to places. Oh, I like that place, and let's do it on that. Anyone that's doing a layout wants to be stimulated, so
one thing I would say on the round and round layouts and lots of trains, it's quite therapeutic after you've had a stressful day just to literally just set them running and just
it's when it's passing over the joints and everything. You've got the genuine click, haven't you?
That's the one thing I used to have a round and round layout, and I got rid of it and had a sort of end to end layout. And that's the one thing I missed, was being able to just set trains running and just zone out for it.
That's why that was a bit of therapy when I first started doing it. It was good. So I'm looking forward to be able to have a loop going round. But like last night, I got my class 33. It's all sound fitted. And I was testing my 3-way point. I was loving it going. I was stopping it, and the brakes are coming on. I hadn't pressed the flange screw button when it was over the joints. I was like, I love this. I can't wait to get this working.
Is that an Electrofrog 3-way point?
Yeah.
That's a wiring nightmare.
It was intimidating. I followed the instructions best I can, and it was using one of their products, and they basically had where you have your auxiliary, well, your one which is the frog, and then you have your positive negative. I wired them the wrong way around, and both of them took in, so it shorted out. So I eventually got that right, but then it turned out, because I was using the Gauge Master PM1s, and they've got the switch toggle on that, so you can power the one that goes to the frog, and then you have two. And because I hadn't powered the thing, I was flicking the catches on the you've probably got the right words for it, but on the point, backwards and forwards, and because it wasn't pushing the point mate all the way, it then sat in between the two, just shorted out the whole thing.
That's it,
and then so my DCC controller light's like dimming down. I'm like, why is it flickering? I'm like, oh god.
You get SVDA appear. And
and I was like, I don't like that message. It tells me something's wrong. So then I get underneath and I kind of pull it across and right, it's working. I wired it right, because initially I think I can't wire this any other way. It turns out I wired it right. Just need to do that. So I just need to.
Them Gauge Master seeps, they can be very temperamental. You got to get them just right, otherwise.
Because I had loads left over from when I first started doing the layout. So let's use these up, because you've got over on the wall. You got the it's slightly chunky, but that Pico, the PL101,
the Pico twist locks.
That kind of looks interesting.
They've not been the most popular product in the world. They've not been the greatest seller, but those who use them seem to rave over them.
I've heard good things.
And of course, on the subject of digital, we've got the DCC Concepts Cobalts. Which are very popular. So a lot of them.
That's the chunkier unit, isn't it?
Dark blue. We got one there, just obviously off camera.
So you can control it using DCC. That's right. Basically. So you can call up accessory.
If you've got something like a Gauge Master Advance DCC02, you can run your points off that and what have you.
That's something to think about.
That's something that my 16.5 layout of going down the route of digital with that, because I've never done digital before.
How's the wiring? Just 2 wires?
Well, easy, I mean, in Double O, I've got like 270 engines and 90 kit built ones or whatever. I can't digify them. I can't. It'll drive me insane. But I thought, 16.5, new project. Let's go digital sound from the word one. So that might be digitised points and all that as well. We'll see how we get on.
I might have to try one out one day for my next shunting layout or whatever I decide to do.
There you go. Shunting project Mark II.
I just do a micro layout with 1 point. And with this thing.
I saw one in O-Gauge a while back. I can't remember what it was. It was in one of the magazines or on YouTube, but it was just a double slip in the middle of the layout, and then you had sidings going off it kind of thing, and it fit in like 8 foot or something. And it was just this one double slip was the only piece of like point work on the whole layout, but it was quite impressive.
Well, it did the right thing, didn't it? It got your attention.
It got my attention. It got my former part-time guy, Big Dave. So obviously we've got Little Dave now. They used to be Big Dave. He was a big O-Gauge modeler, and it impressed him as well. That it just worked off this 1 point kind of thing, but still created quite a bit of interest.
You get that double take when you walk past and go, oh, is that just oh cool.
And in fact, for Statfold, I've got a double O-Gauge version of that booked in, a layout that's only point work is 1 double slip, and that's I can't remember its name now, but it's Adam Miles is bringing it, who's a friend of the shop, friend of the business, I want to say ex-Great Central volunteer, because I think he's off the roster now, but he was a fireman at GC with us for a while, and he's bringing that to Statfold Barn. So that'll be a great chance to see what you can do with just one piece of point work.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, that kind of inspires me because I try to. Don't want to cram too much in, but at the same time, I want to have some functionality.
Yeah, naturally.
So, I always love it when I see these compact layouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing we should probably
wrap up. Yeah. We don't want to go on too long. We did in the last video, so we don't have me shouting expletives at the camera.
That's true. I had to bleep that one out.
Yeah, that's one of the few bits of editing on that, wasn't it? Just bleep out Tony.
So I spent a while finding there it is.
I know Richard, he said to me, how on earth do you not swear in all that time? Because when I film with you, you swear every 6 seconds.
I believe after 3 minutes on YouTube, they won't do anything to your video negatively. Okay. And then you can swear as much as you like.
All right, there we go. Then we'll put a timer on for 3 minutes for next.
I think it's 3 minutes or 30 seconds.
Or 3 minutes 30 seconds.
I know. I'll have to find out. Either way, it's cool. It's been a pleasure.
It's been good. It's good. We're enjoying doing this series. Hope you are enjoying watching it.
Yeah.
More to come in the new year. Hopefully, like I said, more expansive guests and all that.
Yeah, and it'd be good to have a few. The people that we've already spoken.
Yeah, a few more we've got potentially lined up as well. So watch this space.
Yeah. Well, I guess see you on the next episode.
Yeah, I guess the next episode will be next year. So thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year,
That's
and all
very
that.
true. Yeah, Happy New Year.
Right. Yeah. We'll see you soon. See you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.
It's alright. It'll be fine because we'll just cut back in on the edit. But I might put on the Tony's Trains.
Yeah. 0330 number.
Okay.
Bloody spammer. Just wait for it to ring out. That'd be a good outtake.
Yeah, no, it's I'm sure.
We're still running, aren't we? So there we go.
Still